Hi friends, I'm Yamini and I welcome you back to my channel, The Saffron Box. So today I shall be talking about Rahu in the first house and Ketu in the seventh. But before I go ahead, let me just remind you to subscribe to my channel by pressing the subscribe button which comes right under your screen on the right hand side. So do subscribe and also do not forget to tap the bell icon to get regular updates. Right? Rahu in the first house, what does it do? Rahu is a planet of the future. It is a planet which operates on a material plane, usually, right? And Ketu, as I said, operates on the other plane. It's more inclined towards spirituality, towards the spiritual realm. It's inclined towards detachment, while Rahu talks about attachment, right? So people with the placement of Rahu in the first house or in your ascendant tend to be futuristic. They think about the future. They tend to be materially inclined in most of the cases. That again depends on the plane on which Rahu is operating. Rahu could be operating on a higher plane or on a lower plane. That depends on the placement of other planets in the chart. That depends on the the entire karmic baggage with which one is born, right? So Rahu in the first house, first of all, affects your physical appearance. So there could be something unusual about such a person, right? So sometimes what happens is Rahu gives an unusual height to the individual, right? So compared to the average population, the person could be very tall because Rahu tends to give height, right? If not height, then there could be something very unusual about the person. There could be a mole, there could be a birthmark on the face. There would be something which you'll notice as soon as you meet that person, right? And sometimes depending on the placement of Rahu, depending on the sign in which Rahu is placed, depending on its connection with the other planets like Moon, like Venus, etc., it could also happen that the person is unusually attractive. There's something very mystical about that person, and you find that person very attractive, right? So Rahu also gives a boost to your self-confidence. Such a person would not like to bow down easily, right? Can assert himself or herself nicely, properly on others. Okay? And it also gives a good amount of physical stamina, physical courage. On the other hand, when we talk about Ketu in the seventh house, Ketu, as I said, is a planet of detachment, right? It tries to cut you off from where you are. So, Ketu in the seventh house could lead to one, denial of marriage. Depends again on the whole chart, depends on the placement of Venus, depends on the seventh lord, etc. There are other things, there are other issues to it. So it could lead to something unusual about marriage. One, there could be denial totally. Secondly, there could be something unusual about the marriage. So one might be, marrying pretty late in life. There could be, a lot of difference in terms of religion, in terms of, your partner could be from a totally different race altogether. They could be from a different religion. Uh, they could come from somewhere totally unexpected into your lives, right? So uh, there's a certain amount of unusuality in the seventh house. Also, such a placement tends to make the person look more inwards, right? So they are more inward looking. They can spend time alone. They can spend quite a lot of time alone on their own rather than mixing around, because Ketu in the seventh talks about other people. So Ketu is not that interested in mingling around with other people. Such a person can actually, as I said, spend a lot of time on their own rather than mixing around in social circles. Yeah. So that's about Rahu and Ketu in the first and seventh house respectively. In the second video in this series, I shall also talk about Rahu in the second and Ketu in the eighth. So keep watching out. God bless. Thank you.